Now, the next one,
Oh,
this is going to be a
controversial.
breakout. I'm just saying, I did this just because people like to say that you speculate, and we do speculate. So this is prime speculation that could happen, and people have said, "Oh, you can see that happening," but I don't think it will happen.
No.
Neil Thompson's on a great run. Okay, he's doing very well. 5 wins at home, 5 out of 7 wins in the last matches. I don't see any reason to change the current situation at Wednesday at the minute. Don't give him a deal. Keep it going. Status quo, right?
Yeah.
But if he did start to fall a little bit, and hypothetically, would Frank Lampard, who has recently been sacked at Chelsea, be a good fit for Sheffield Wednesday, given the club's relative size in comparison to Derby, very similar clubs in a way. Like, you know, you've got your Forest, your Wednesdays, Derbys, things like that. Would it be a good way of having another go? Because obviously Rooney's at Derby now. He's not going to go back there. I don't think many clubs in the Prem would want to take a chance on him currently. That might change. That might be a thing that does happen. But would he be, regardless of the fact if he'd come or not, would he be a good fit for Wednesday? I'll just want to give you some stats before we discuss this, okay? So he's got a 42.1 win percentage in the Championship after one season, right? That is one of the best win percentages
That is very good.
of managers in that league. And yes, he was backed, and yes, he obviously had his Chelsea links, but all of that could still be a thing that helps us if he was our manager. This is what I'm saying. He won 21, drew 14, lost 14, finished 6th, obviously lost in the playoff final. Some decent stats. What do you think?
If what they want, that would be an interesting one, because the one thing I've seen from Frank Lampard is he puts a lot of passion into players. He makes them play for that badge. When Derby took to him very quickly, and also, obviously Chelsea were always going to take to him, but that first season he was at Chelsea, couldn't bend anything, had to use what he had. In that kind of sense where we're in a similar position where we're not too sure what we can bend, what money is available. Him actually, like you put in the notes, focus on the youth, Manson, Mount and Tamore. Oh, God. Tamore. And
Manson Mount! Carry on, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, bugger, yeah. But yeah, with our whole youth coming through, I want to start using our youth team more. I really do. What's the point of having a youth team if it's not going to eventually play for your first team? There's no point having it. If your youth team players are not going to get that breakout and get into your first team, you shouldn't have it. Kind of thing.
No.
I think someone who can promote the youth to come into that squad, show that they can, and we've already seen it with Thompson already. He's already doing it. Neil's already showing that youth who want to get in can get in this squad. And I think if we had a situation like Thompson or Lampard, we might not have seen the likes of Hurst and Clare go as fast as they did. They might have been saying, we might have been able to put them on contract and then sell them for more. And in terms of, if you're thinking about like selling players on, it's the youth where you're going to get the most value for, kind of thing. And I think Lampard would be a really good shout, but would he come to it? Probably not. But I don't like
know,
the idea.
because that's the thing. The reason I brought it up is because it's a link that there's been, just so you know, we're not saying that this has been notorious for sacking managers, right?
Let's also remember with that Chelsea team, he brought in so many players. It was a case of getting those players to gel. I think if you get those players to gel,
yeah,
next season you get the best out of them.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if we stay up, right, this is the thing. If Neil gets us to stay up, a lot of people will be saying, give Neil the job. But if Chansiri didn't want to do that, looking at alternatives, and yes, they're a little bit of a pipe dream because of the situation we're in, despite the club's history, because history doesn't mean the most thing. It's on your current results. If he was looking to do a Stuart Gray thing when he brought in Carlos,
I was about to say that, yeah.
Looking at and he's done it before, he's got a track record of it, right, with the Stuart Gray thing. I know Stuart Gray was already employed before he took over and things, but he does tend to want to get a guy in that'll work for that situation, you know, and Frank's worked as a head coach You know, he's worked into that mold. I think he'd be a motivator to the players, and I could see it be an appointment that he tried to make. And I would actually be really up for this because I've thought about it more and I've looked at it, and I thought if it can't be Neil Thompson, if the results did fall off a cliff, out of all the candidates, for me it's Frank Lampard at the minute. So I thought it's worth talking about it, regardless of if he'd ever actually come to us or not. I'd quite like Frank Lampard here if the situation ever was available. But yeah, I thought it was worth talking about.
It is one of those ones. He is an available coach at the minute.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
And what is a podcast if you can't talk about the what ifs?